There are many things in this world that we can't see or hear. It's beyond our capabilities. However, technology allows us to go to those places, and that's what I love about infrared photography. It allows us to reveal light at a wavelength that our eyes can't normally detect, and it reveals a world that is normally non-existent. So it might come as a surprise that all my videos so far have involved film cameras. I started in photography many years ago, too many years to remember really, but one thing I've never tried, and that's infrared film. Now, when digital cameras arrived, the process of infrared capture to me was very tempting. So after all these years, I thought I would try digital infrared photography. My first camera was the Olympus OMD Mark I, and I fitted it with a Hoya R72 filter. This blocks out light with a wavelength under 720 nanometer. Using a camera and a filter this way meant that I had to use the camera on a tripod because the exposure times would be in seconds and possibly, depending on the aperture set, in minutes. The resultant images used on sunny days with the cloud produced motion in the clouds, motion blur, and for that matter anything else that was moving in the pictures. Looking back at the images that I'm going to show you taken with the OMD, I feel the long exposures produced more dramatic mood and light than using a converted infrared camera that you can use handheld with normal speeds. But that's subjective and only my opinion based on what I want to convey in my pictures. So the pictures in this first part of the video were all taken with the OMD. With this camera I took a light reading with the filter off the camera, then converted that reading applying the R72 filter factor, which I think is 16, and that's round about 4 stops of light it takes away. However, you need to check your camera's infrared blocking filter before you buy any of these filters. So what I'd do is fix the R72 filter to your lens, lock the shutter open in bulb mode, and then point your TV remote control at the lens. Now, if you see a white light on the rear LCD or in the viewfinder, then it's safe to use the filter. If you see nothing, then your camera is blocking the infrared light and it won't work with the filter. So I'd do that check first. I would also recommend, before you take pictures with the filter, always to take a custom white balance. You can do it off sunlit grass or an 18% grey card, and this will keep the overall red effect to a minimum. And this is what it looks like without the custom white balance, and this one's with the custom white balance. It just removes that overall red look to the images and makes it easier to edit. Now, infrared film was very grainy, and now if you don't like the smooth look of digital pictures, you can always add grain to them in Photoshop. I use this plugin, it's a Photoshop plugin, when I feel it's required, made by my friend Ian Barber. The grain structure was a copy of one of my Tri-X negatives, so it's very accurate, and you apply it like this in Photoshop. Unlock the layer, go to the plugins, select Tri-X grain, click add grain, and it's done. The left hand image has no grain applied and the right hand image has the grain applied. I'll leave a link to Ian's webpage where you can purchase this plugin. It's well worth buying. Now, I'm always going on about setting yourself projects. I think they're great for keeping you focused. So the images in this first part are from 2 projects, church grounds and also a study of an old tree that really fascinates me somehow with its shapes and textures. So let's have a look at the pictures taken with the Olympus OMD with a Hoya R72 filter attached. So in this part of the video, I'm going to show you the pictures taken with this little camera. It's the Olympus pen E-PL1. This replaced my Olympus OMD. That camera was great, but it always had to be used on a tripod, and for me there were just too many buttons and knobs on it. I get a little bit confused with them. This camera's a lot easier to use. It's a lot lighter, more compact. It has a nice zoom lens on it. You view the LCD for composing your images, but sometimes in bright light that's difficult to see. So with this camera I bought this. It's an external electronic viewfinder, goes on the hot shoe like that, and that means now I can use the camera as normal and get a nice view through the viewfinder. I can also tilt it that way so I can use it at waist level, looking down like that, or getting really low down, really low to the ground, so it makes it easy to compose with it. This camera has been converted slightly different to normal infrared cameras, where the infrared blocking filter inside is usually removed and replaced with the infrared filter. Well, with this one, the IR filter has been removed, but the infrared filter has been screwed to the front of the lens, and this is a Polaroid IR72 filter. I think it's a good way of using it because it means I can unscrew that filter, and if I want to buy a stronger infrared filter, I don't have to send the whole camera in for redoing and putting in a different infrared filter over the sensor. I just replace the filter on the front of the camera. So it's a great way of doing it. And I've had no problems with this camera whatsoever. It's an old model, but as I say, it does take some nice pictures. Now, using this camera, is a different workflow to using the OMD. As I say, that had to be used on a tripod. With this one, I can just walk about, it's light and it's compact, and just take pictures that I think would make a nice infrared image. So you'll see in the following images that they're quite varied, and it's when I've been out walking with the camera, seen something I've liked, taken a picture, and that way I get this variation in images. So there's no sort of set projects with this. So we'll have a look at the pictures taken with this camera and see if you like those. Right, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it and it's inspired you to get out with and try infrared digital photography. Just keep in mind the two things that I said. If you're going to fit an infrared filter on the front of your lens, you really do need to check with the TV remote control, like I showed you in the video, to make sure that your camera's capable of capturing infrared images. And the other thing, when you go out with the digital camera, whether it's one where you put the infrared filter on the lens, or it's one that's been converted, always take a custom white balance to get rid of that red look that you saw in the video, and it just makes the files easier to edit. So it's print sale time again. This picture is one of my favourites from the Olympus OMD camera. When I got there, the weather conditions were absolutely perfect. The sun was low, so I managed to get the sun just behind the tree, and and with it being shooting into the light, we get this lovely texture in the grass, and we get this shadow that's coming from the tree. The actual print's entitled Shadow. And also the clouds are moving in just the right direction to give that feeling like the tree's bursting out of the clouds. So it's a really nice print. In fact, when you look at it at this distance I'm looking, it almost looks 3D because of the way the frontal light has cast the shadows. It gives it that texture, and as I say, it looks almost 3D. Looks like you can walk into it. Anyway, if you would like to own this print, then I'm going to put it up for auction on eBay. I'll leave a link below in the description to that auction. The picture size is 12 inches by 12 inches. It comes titled, it's actually called The Shadow, and it comes signed. It's printed on Epsom cold pressed bright paper, which is a delicately textured paper, and it's a matte paper. It's a very nice paper. And I'll leave, as I do with all my prints, a white border all the way around the image, and that will help you when you come to mount the picture before framing. So as I say, if you like this print, go to the link in the description to eBay auction and put a bid in. It really is a really nice print, this. So, well, I would say that, wouldn't I? but it really is. It's a striking print, is this. So that's the end of the video. If you liked the video and enjoyed it and like the pictures, give me a like, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button, and you'll be notified when I upload new content. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.